Hello, everyone. I am so excited to be here with you today. Thank you for joining my show, ELIAN'S Joy. I am very excited about this episode. We're going to talk about spirituality. This is the month of spirituality for us, for me, on my show content. And I have a lot to share with you today. It's been a great day so far for me. And I'm very, of course, blessed to be in this amazing group of win-win women. We all together have so much energy and we have so much to share, and it's so much fun. And I was listening to earlier shows today from Kat and from Janine this morning and with Lisa, and we all had this vibrant spirit today, that we were in the same energy, we were in the same mindset. So much to share with you today about that. And then a great lineup today, this afternoon, with Dr. Valerie and with Pamela, and just so Angelica right after me. So I hope that you will stay with us today on a Saturday and watch the episodes. Yes. So today is a little bit about, are you spiritually healthy? And I'm going to give you a real little recap of what I did this month with spirituality. We talked about the meaning of feeling in a really good place versus being in an ego spirit, right? And if you're in an ego spirit, then you are kind of waiting on the rest of the world, the rest of the world to make you happy. And if you're coming more into the transformation of feeling in a good place and feeling that you are walking your path, your dream, your vision, you are walking the way that you really want things to line up and play out, then if you're doing that, then you feel way more connected to your spiritual self and to your path and to your purpose. And we talked a couple of weeks ago about the opposite of that. While you are just kind of like in a waiting mode all the time for people and places, events and happenings to make you happy, and you're always waiting on the next big thing to happen to come to the place of happiness. And if you are not in that place, then you are not in a good place, then you are constantly just kind of anxious and stressed out and feeling just down and stuck, and you're waiting and you're waiting and you're waiting. And to get out of that, that's what I do with my patients, with my clients, in my life coaching practice, and in my movement world, in my movement practice with people and patients. I tell them that they have to get out of that feeling stuck by moving, letting your energy flow, do the movement with me, do the life coaching, do the mental work with me, and do the spiritual work with me. So today and this month, we are in that spiritual. Now, next month, I'm very excited about that too. We're going to do a little bit more movement, and I'm going to just also make you feel physically how you can be connected to that spiritual chi, to that energy, to that self, and to that core self, to that finding that center of zesty feeling that you want to get up with in the morning. So a couple of weeks ago, we talked about coming from that world of expectation and constantly waiting on other people, and being into that place of, what do I need to do now? What do people expect of me? What is next? To come to a place of self-reflection and really feeling a little bit more down with self, down with what your needs are, and down with what your wants are, and how to get to that place. And again, I do that with my patients. So while I was working I've been working for the last 6, 7 years at a rehab facility for alcohol and drugs, for people that are in recovery. I work with people a lot on that. How can you feel um, where you want to be? How do you get to that place where you want to be? Because I always say, and also in my life coaching private practice to my clients and to my patients, I know what you don't want. I know you don't want to do all that stuff anymore for others. I know you don't want to live in that mode of expectation. But what do you really want? And that's always the answer that I don't get, right? So that we have to connect to. It is not that we do know what we don't want. It is what we know not, or we do not know what we do want. So we have to get to that really good place of really being in that spot of self, connected with your inner energy, connecting with your good spiritual feelings, and then knowing that from there on, you're going to attract a lot of things. So when you're not waiting on things to attract you anymore, but you're going to attract things to come to you, then you are going to be in a great place. You don't have to do much anymore for it. And it becomes from, like I physically always say it's connected too, right? Because it becomes from an uneasy, dis-ease place to a really easy at ease place. And that's where you want to be. So we have done a lot of unstuck exercises. I remember a couple of weeks ago, just kind of like those feel good exercises that you can do for yourself to get unstuck, because that was one of the spiritual things that we had to do, like, helping somebody else or having a conversation with God, or just, creating a new rhythm, creating a new not staying in that comfort zone, but creating some new things to do, doing some deep self-reflection, like what's going on, or just sharing it with a friend, which is so important because I've been doing that the whole day. And see how I feel. It's just wonderful to connect and to feel that spiritual and just brain connection with somebody else, right? Knowing that we all go through the same thing. And everybody goes really through the same thing. We just all kind of like circle in a different rhythm, right? Some of us come to an early realization of where am I with my spiritual self, and some of us are a little bit later in life coming to that, and some of them fight like I did. I was fighting my God, I was fighting my belief, I was fighting my religion for so long, because if something would go wrong, story. If something would go wrong, then I would just immediately be very mad at the energy and the ultimate above us, right? And what is so funny is that if you don't know that it's already there for you, and you constantly keep plowing away and try something new and try something different and just kind of shake things up to find out if that is it. But if we just come to a really more calm and quiet place and just knowing that everything will be okay, just like I said, at ease, at peace. These words are all there for a reason, right? Ease, peace, unease, disease. It's all connected. So we just want to feel in that place of ease. So we can just all the time be in a good place, even when a lot of things are going wrong. And I'll tell you honestly, um, what's going on right now in the news, in the news, in the world, affects me very, very, very deeply. As a European, as somebody who is just overwhelmed, I get not overwhelmed by the small things, but I get overwhelmed by the big things, like this worldly stuff that I feel. I feel that energy. I feel the pain. I feel the sorrow. I feel the sadness. And if I feel that, of course, I cannot get overwhelmed in a sense of letting it, you know, can be carried away by it. But I just feel that the deep sense of connection with people that all want to be well and healthy and all want to do the same thing. And everybody in the world wants to say, we want to feel safe, we want to feel connected, we want to feel cared for, and we want to just feel that we have a deep sense of belonging, right, with others and with self and with God. And if you cannot feel that, then I feel that uh, distress a little bit. But what I do, and as a story, what I do for myself is I believe. I must keep that faith that there is an answer on the other side, and it's already all determined, and that we have just to go through this to find out more, of what the ultimate purpose of life is here, not just for ourselves, but also for all of us together. I have to keep that faith. I came to that realization with another thing that I can share with you. I was in a really stuck place years ago, maybe 15, 20 years ago. And one of my friends came to me. It's not 20 years ago. And one of my friends came to me and she said, this is a powerful thing. You need to start listening to those tapes. And in those days we had cassette tapes that you had to put in your radio thing in the car, and you could listen to it on the road, and I listened to it. And it was about the power of positive thinking, and that made a big, 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 big difference for me. When I started to listen to those tapes, I'm still thankful for Tara for giving them to me. When I started listening to those tapes, I knew that I was making the mistake by just thinking really negative about everything. Like, if this is not, then I was kind of like into those things that I use in my work with addiction a lot, those trigger modes. I was thinking, next week I'm just going to be really doing good with all this stuff that I want for myself. And then I didn't do it on Monday. It's like, yeah, I'm going to exercise. I'm going to the gym Monday, right? Yeah, I'm doing it Monday. Now, Tuesday, I found out that I knew that I didn't do it Monday. So now Tuesday, I get into a total negative thinking mode, and I'm going into this feeling of negative self-worth. So I can never do anything right. I don't get it. I just tried so hard, but I never do it. And what's wrong with me? And now I'm in a negative thinking, very low self-esteem mode that will build up over time, even if it's during the week or if it's over time, it will build up until we can never do anything right. And now that's going to trigger a lot of anxiety and a lot of anger and a lot of stress and a lot of. So again, it is not really healthy to be in that place. On top of that, healthy out of the window, right? So I'm not healthy. I don't want to be there. I don't care. It's just next Monday. And so now you just spiral out of control really, really badly. And that happened to me too. So I was on a very negative path, just negative thinking, negative belief, and just thinking that I didn't really think that God was not there for me, but I was just really, really not in the mood to discuss it with him either, or to ask for anything, let alone that I was ever going to ask for anything. I was not going to do that, share or so for that time being. And then getting those tapes about positive thinking and being in that stuck mode, that really meant a lot to me. So I started listening. And I started understanding that that was the first thing that I had to change. I had to change that constant negative thinking. And I actually started developing a practice over time that I now share with my patients and clients to do so. Every time that you think something negative, number one thing in mindfulness and being mindful of it is that you actually know that you're doing it. I will never, I cannot, I won't, I will not have it. So if you think that and you catch it, then immediately replace it with something positive, right? We did some of those exercises a couple of weeks ago together as well. So try to replace that in the moment. And I do even physical exercise with that, which I will share with you next week and over the next couple of weeks. But if you are in that mode of catching yourself, being angry, and then you can do something about it. And for me, it was always definitely something that I was teaching. I was just teaching from a different perspective. I was teaching, go do something about it, right? And I was teaching the physical part of it, like, oh, let's go do something about it, which is to me still one of the number one things that you can do for yourself. If you are stuck, go exercise and just go walk it off and feel better. And we practiced and talked about that a couple of weeks ago, just getting unstuck. Another couple of things that we did, just to kind of recap, is going to that wheel of life and find out what the balance is there in that circle of life. Are you balancing your work, your career, your money with time for friends and social life, and maybe being in your spiritual modus, in your spiritual moments? That doesn't mean that you have to be on Sunday somewhere. It doesn't mean that you have to be on Saturday somewhere, but it means that you take the time to actually learn and transform and just feel that you're learning, and then go apply that to yourself. There's a lot of things that we can learn from a book, but we also have to start applying and feeling it. I say, just in those things of healing, like, where is it? And where is it in your body that you feel stuck? Even if it's not just in your mind, where is it in your body that you feel stuck? Go find it. You go feel it, right? And then face it and heal it. So you really have to do those things for yourself. So are we actually balancing that circle of life and making time to do so? If you're doing that with me over the last couple of weeks, then we're a whole lot further, right? It might still be a little wobbly. That wheel, that circle might still be a little wobbly, but we don't ever want it to be perfect. We want to come to maybe just a, state of imperfect perfection, right? That's what we always joke about. We want to go to that place. And now to move that energy through your body and to feel a little bit better and to feel that spiritual connection, we have to take the time to get there. The word spirit means breath. The word spirit means courage. It's vigor. It is, the soul, all these things we already talked about, but I repeat it again. It is the breath, the energy, the soul of who you really are and how you are connected with that spiritual self and with what you believe is good for you, is your purpose here. What is your purpose here? What are we here to do? We have to find out where we are. And if you are on a path to do so with me and on a journey to do so with me, then you'll slowly get there. It is connecting with self, right? That is the meaning of finding that spiritual. It is connecting with self, it's connecting with others. That social dimension is so big. I didn't realize that for a long time in my life, that I was just kind of leaving that behind. I'm not talking about friends, a lot of friends. I love my friends, but really sharing that inner pain or that inner soul or that inner drive or that inner stuck with somebody else. I wasn't really gonna go there, right? And that is so important that we go there. And I have learned that over the last 20 years. So I had to learn the hard way. Listening to that feeling and to those tapes and listening to that inner feeling of what that did for me to come more to a positive thinking. That was the thing that really got me open to learning again and being interested in deepening my spiritual self. Really listening to God, listening to what I needed to hear, even taking time out. And it's all connected. I said, well, my students say, well, what is that then? There's the spiritual and the transformational, and then there's religion. And to me, it's all connected. It's not necessarily in the book all itself, but you can be very, very connected by just feeling that in the first place, you have a purpose, you have a meaning. You're here for a reason, you are unique and you are absolutely having a job to do. It's not even what you do, it is why you do it. Why do you feel that you can be here and contribute something? So you can contribute something to your feeling of self, to feeling good about things. You can contribute something to others and to the society and getting that respect. And when you get that respect, you start feeling better. And when you are into that transcendental transformation, that you're really, really close to your God or to your higher power or to the one that you feel or the someones that you feel that you really need to connect to, because that gives you that energy for life and a zest to get up, then you're in a really great place. You are then in a really great place. So if we're taking it back to some of the statements that you can make to find out if you're spiritual in a good place, it is, are, are your spiritual, is your spiritual self really just in your mental and in your physical being? Is it all connected, that mind, body, spirit? Is it all in a good place? And is there an approach to your health? Is it true that if you're a true believer or if you're spiritual in a really good place, that you're actually healthier? Scientists say yes. Scientists say that, or there's science on it. I've been reading about, if you're with somebody in a healthy marriage or in a healthy relationship, and if you're with God in the right place or with your spiritual belief in the right place, then you are actually physically a lot healthier too. It's all connected with each other. And so these characteristics, how can you find out that you're there, is coming through in your behavior, in your relationships, in your connection with others. It can always be improved. Mine can always be improved. My little piece of the pie that we worked on last week can always be better. Can I be in a certain place more? Can I do more for other people? Can I be more of that little angel inside? Can I just connect more with others and make them see my weakness and make them see that they can help me? Because that's a great thing to be. It's great to be helped. It's great to ask for it. It's great to get it. And oh, it took so long for me to get it. So now I'm in that place that I get it. And if you're thinking about that power of positive thinking and that feeling good belief system, then you know that you can manifest that healthy mind, body, spirit every day by just knowing that it's already there. Whatever you dream and whatever you visualize, if you believe that that is already put in place by your higher power in your spiritual mindset, then everything else is just, might not be a good day, might be painful, might be grief. I go through that all the time. Like I say, I always go through pain and grief, just like everybody else. But I know so much more now than I used to. I know so much better that it will be okay. There is a reason for it. I might not like it, but there is a big time reason that I have to go through it or that I have to experience it. And just like a human being, I might just throw a super fit for a couple of days or, right, just kind of stay in bed or hide out, sit in the closet, hide out in the closet. And then after a couple of days, I know that that was not the way to deal with it. It's not the way to deal with anxiety. It's not the way to deal with stress. What do I need to do? Take action, get up, get out, start moving, start planning. Planning was a really big one that we discussed. Planning is so of the essence in controlling anxiety and controlling stress. Because if I already make a plan a little bit ahead, then I know what's coming instead of constantly being worried about, I don't know what's coming. What is coming? I am just in a little bit more of control. And then I know that my higher power is the ultimate control. And if I do a little bit of, I say this funny to my patients all the time, but I do believe that God has a cell phone. And my God has a cell phone. And if I am going to text a little bit about what I want, and what my dream is and what my vision is and what my goal should be over the next couple of years, because I really want to come to a place where I'm just going to totally be in a great place of giving and happy and healthy again, then if I text him just a little bit, then I think he's going to pick up on that, read that text and go like, oh, that's easy. We can feel that it, right? So a little bit easier than me on the couch. God, I don't like it. Oh, I don't really know where I want to be, but I don't like this. Why don't you show me? And of course, I want my God to show me. I want my higher power to show me if I'm doing right or wrong. But if I give him some ideas, and I'm talking about real things. I'm not talking about being out of reality. I tell my clients all the time, if you give me a little plan, it's got to be a real one. I am not going to be an airline pilot over the next year. See where I'm going? It's not going to go deep sea diving. So it needs to be in a realm of reality of the place that I am right now, my environment, my family, people. So to come a little bit to some work that you can do for yourself, to come a little bit to those characteristics of feeling that spiritual self. We have to look around us at ourselves, at others, in what kind of nature and environment we find us, and what kind of spiritual relationship we want to have and establish. And ask yourself that. How are you doing now? It's your question of the day. question of the day. How are you doing now in the moment? How are you doing now? How have you experienced God lately? How are you doing now and how have you experienced God lately? And what, the third question, has been working for you in life and what has been draining you? And if you ask yourself those questions, then you're in a good place. You just did your homework, good, right? And don't worry about the rest. Spiritual, religious, you are in a good place if you are starting to find a relationship with yourself and your higher power, because then you become that meaningful, then you can achieve that meaningful life. You can be just in a good place, knowing that you can be at peace and just kind of like attaining that blissful life in heaven that I would really, really love to go to. Right? Because they're my loved ones and they're there and I want to join them and have a good time together. And if you are in a different place, if you're more of a spiritual bloke, right? Then a spiritual person, then do your meditation, do your mindfulness, and do your sense of where you need to be to feel that you are on top of the mountain without fear. Because fear is again, falling off. Fear triggers everything again. It triggers that sense of, I didn't do it. I needed to be there. I'm procrastinating. I never can do anything right. And fear of other people not being happy with what you do. Let that go. Find out where you need to be and then learn to connect and communicate and care so that they can understand where you need to be and where you're going. And then maybe follow or not. And if they're not followers, if they're not on your balcony, I like to say that I need people on my balcony all the time, only. I don't need anybody in my cellar telling me that I don't know about you, it doesn't do me any good. Or no, I need people. Yay! That's wonderful, Elio. Let's do this together, right? So I hope you do that with me. And I hope that you reach out to all of us win-win women. And I hope that you get so much out of watching us. And I would love to see you in one of my Tai Chi classes or one of my yoga classes that you can find everywhere. Just find me on the website. Find me on my website, www.elianhaan.com. elianhaan.com. And you can find me under my name everywhere, all that social media, on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube. And I am really trying to keep up with all that stuff. And on YouTube are videos for you, not just movement videos, but little chat videos. And I hope that you will follow. But more so, I hope that you will talk back to me, at me. I hope that you will have this conversation with me where you are spiritually. We'll definitely do this again next month, with just a little bit more body. And then we have a month of mind. And then we have a month of spirit again. So we're just going to keep connecting the dots. And I am sure that I am not sure of everything, but I just love to bring that question to you. Are you spiritually healthy? Have you done the work for it? How are you doing now in your relationship with God? Have you experienced God lately? And what has really set you off? And what was really amazing? Just ask yourself those questions a couple of times a day, or play a little bit with that circle of life, and you're feeling better. You start feeling better. Absolutely. And that's what I hope for you. And I hope that you will follow us and keep following us and keep connecting with us on the Win-Win Women group of wonderful, fabulous women with so much information and so much fun and so much joy to share. ELIAN'S Joy. I hope you got a lot of energy and a lot of joy today. That is my intent for this show for you. And give you a sense of joy, give you a little bit of energy, and a big, big, big fat smile. So stay with me, and I appreciate it, absolutely. And stay with me a little bit for after the show if you want to. Then we're going to hang out and do some really fun sharing together. Thank you, and I will see you next time. I will see you next week.